I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube, leave a comment, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. All right, so it's a special edition of Man Listen. It's the Man edition, just me and Brother Laugh. So we talking about football, man. The Super Bowl popped off, and for those who don't know, Rika tried to say she's from Illinois, but I think she false flagging. She got some Missouri ties to her, and C and I are from Topeka, Kansas, so we about 40 minutes from KC. Lav grew up in KC, so we're all big KC fans. You know, we'll get into my stance on the NFL. But as y'all all know, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And this is the second time we win the Super Bowl in 4 years, man. Lav, what you think about the game, bro?
Man, I thought it was a good game. It was one of the better Super Bowl games. And it was, to be honest with you, it was basically kind of how it played. Every other Chiefs game plays out typically. Chiefs usually fall behind or whatever, and I get frustrated. But at the end, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. So,
man, a couple things about him, man. I saw a lot of people since Brady said he finally retiring. They're talking about Brady passing the torch to Mahomes. Like, you know, well, he's won 2 championships, 2 Super Bowls, 2 league MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Do you think he's on the right trajectory to be one of the greatest? Or is he already one of the greatest?
Yeah, just on what you mentioned alone, two Super Bowl wins, 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. There can't be any more than 4 guys that have that kind of resume. So he's already one of the greatest.
What about Eli? He got 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but he don't have a single MVP.
Okay.
You know, he might have a Super Bowl MVP, but I mean, regular season MVP. Now, Patrick Mahomes has the most yards ever in a season for a quarterback. So he has records. I mean, every completion percentage, quarterback rating, QBR for a career, he holds the record. He's the standard. So he can retire right now and get to the Hall of Fame.
It's sort of like, and I don't wish no bad on Patrick Mahomes, but it's sort of like Biggie. Biggie had 2 albums out, right? And he's put in the conversation for greatest of all time. It's sort of like that,
right? I don't know about that. That's
I was reaching with that one.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I see what you're saying. I feel you on that. Only thing I would say to that is that rap, and you know, we talk about hip hop is so subjective, man. So yeah, it's you know, whereas football, you know, you have quantifiable things and you can just go off of that. So
that's true. That's very true. So I saw this stat, man, and they talked about Jalen Hurts. He balled out, right?
Big mad love to Jalen Hurts, man. If honestly, if there was one team I wouldn't have been terribly upset that they lost to, would have been Philly with Jalen Hurts, man. Because I'm an Alabama college football fan, so I've loved Jalen Hurts ever since then, man.
And what's crazy about that, me and Lab 2 Alpha, man, so we shouting out Omega. That's something. But I saw this stat, and I don't know how true. I didn't research the numbers, but they talked about Mahomes. They both signed a contract in 2020, right? Now, of course, Mahomes is older than Jalen Hurts, but they said that the contract Mahomes signed in 2020, over 10 years, he's going to make what, 503 mil?
Yeah, 500. Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the rookie contract that Hurts signed for 4 years in 2020. He's making $6 million.
Total?
Now, again, I don't know the accuracy, but
No. That sounds about right because I don't think he
about
was a
like
first round draft pick.
1.5, 1.5
Yep.
a year. Now, I don't know what type of incentives or other stuff he has on.
Yeah.
And it speaks to, the episode we did about was it DeMar Hamlin? And you talked about how on the rookie contracts and how the longevity of NFL players and how much it takes to get vested and how much it takes to get your money. I just pray that young brother stays healthy so he can cash out like him and like Lamar Jackson. Like, I don't know what contract Lamar Jackson's on, but he should be on for a good payday. But he hurt himself this year. Yeah. So, it's just wild how these brothers can play and make so much of a difference, yet they're not making that much bread. Now, for a lot of people, they're like, $6 million, give me $6 million, I'm good. Right. We gotta put it in the right perspective.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna work for minimum wage if the dude across the hall that does the same job as you is making $100,000 a year. You're not gonna do that.
Right. And we talked about it on a DeMar Ham. We've talked about it before. NFL players, literally every time they take the field, they're taking days, years, months off of their lives. Mm-hmm. You don't see too many 90-year-old ex-NFL players. You don't see too many 80-year-old ex-NFL players, to be quite honest with you. I didn't see it, but people were saying at that NFL honors where they gave out the awards, they were saying Jim Brown looked like he didn't look like himself. He's probably
old
early. That's what he's old too. Yeah, he's old too. But back to Jalen Hurts' contract. The contracts for the players, rookie, it doesn't matter, aren't guaranteed except for basically one position. And it's the one position that the brothers have had the hardest time cracking the glass ceiling to get into, and that's the quarterback position. You talk about Lamar Jackson, there's no reason he shouldn't have a fully guaranteed contract worth similar to what Patrick Mahomes has. Jalen gonna get his money. He'll be all right.
Is Mahomes' contract guaranteed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think 350 of it is guaranteed for sure.
Because Russell Wilson got his contract guaranteed, right?
Yeah, Russell. That's what I say. Quarterbacks usually get most of the guaranteed money. Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know, man.
Stop breaking the action. Before we get back to the show, imagine your ad right here with us, reaching all the other Man Listen people. Check the link in the bio. Where's it at? Right here. It's here somewhere. Click the link, get at us.
We talked on the show several times before, man. Now everybody knows it's documented. I boycotted the most. I think I was the only person that did boycott on the show. And then
I didn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Matter of fact, I know I did. I was the only person to boycott.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then about 4 years ago, at least 4 Super Bowls ago, Chiefs went into the Super Bowl. I went down to Miami, was kicking it with the fellas. That I did because it was right before COVID, right before everything shut down. Everybody was giving me a hard time, but I always said, listen, as soon as I saw, Colin Kaepernick settle with the NFL with an all-white legal team, I said, well, my boycott done because you should have at least got some brothers and sisters paid. But even though I stopped boycotting, I still been kind of cool on the NFL for a lot of the things that they've done and they still do. We talk about the race norming. We talk about the treatment of his players. When you brought up on that episode how long it takes for somebody to be vested, and then juxtaposed to the average career span of an NFL player, like those things, the race norming that they were doing, where they was trying to say that white players were, I guess, more cognitively advanced, for lack of a better term, than black players. It just I don't know, man. A lot about the NFL still seems unseemly to me. So I just can't really pull with it 100%. Do you think that they have bounced all the way back from Kaepernick when people were boycotting 100%? You think the boycott and everything about it is put in the rearview mirror 100%?
I think similar to what you were mentioning about when he settled, and then he basically I'm not gonna say he gave up the fight, but at that point, people that were riding with him were like, "This what you doing? You know, we riding with you." And then once he's like, "I'll take the money and I'll, won't say anything ill about the league. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to get back in the league again." So I think it did turn a lot of, I'm not gonna say turn a lot of people off, but it gave a lot of people a reason to say, okay, well, he's done with it, so I'm cool going back to watch it. And in hindsight, you think about something like that, the NFL is really cagey and how they move sometimes. And that ultimately they're like, you know what, it's worth us paying him this money because it's gonna not impact our bottom line 3 years down the line. Whereas right now we're getting impacted heavily. Ratings are down, stuff like that. So they were playing chess with him, and I mean he was playing chess too, but ultimately they had the upper hand because they had more leverage.
You think Cap ever stopped watching football?
No.
And ain't that crazy? All of us stopped watching, stopped buying merchandise and everything. He probably was still watching football.
Right. But it's different too, though. I mean, the players aren't fans, though. That's the difference. That's his livelihood. That's what he essentially went to school for. That's what he trained his whole life for. It's hard for people in everyday society to make a career change, not necessarily a total career change, but just take a new job. And I mean and so for him to be in the prime of his career and to get shunned by the league, he still was invested in the league though, so
Yeah, I don't know, man. I support the brothers that play in the league. I just can't mess with the league, because you just know it's people get mad about it, but $40 million slaves, the plantation mentality. If there's a plantation mentality for real, it's the NFL.
Well, I would say college football because literally until
really, because even though they starting to get a little bit of money now, really college football for real.
Yeah, but NFL and college aren't too dissimilar.
Yeah. I don't like how they let Jerry Jones hang around.
Man,
I don't like that. He should have been gone. And it's crazy. I live in Dallas, and most of the brothers and sisters here, they say we love the Cowboys, but we hate them.
Oh man, it's every city you go to, it's a bunch of black people that love the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. A bunch of them, man. Yep. And yeah, but a lot of them will be like, "Hey, man, we liked them before Jerry Jones took over the team and all that." So, as with sports, and really, a lot of sports is tradition, and that stuff is passed down along generational lines. So if your dad liked the Cowboys and your dad's dad liked the Cowboys, then chances are you're gonna be rocking a Dak Prescott jersey, even though
the Philly fans booed. I didn't watch a whole bunch, so I watched like part of the first half. I watched part of Rihanna's performance. I saw a few downs, but I just, like I said, man, I could have went to some Super Bowl parties, and it probably would have been better if I'd have been around my KC folks having a good time. But it just, like I said, I just don't sit right with me with the NFL. But I heard Dak, he got like, what is it, like the Sportsmanship of the Year award or something like that.
They said it was Man of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year,
and the Philly fans booed him for that.
Yeah, I didn't see that part of it either, man. But I heard that. Yeah.
At least they consistent. So
yeah, and I will say this, something that every year that goes by, honestly, if the Chiefs weren't good, I probably would have a different viewpoint. To be honest with you, on the NFL. Yeah. But it's we talk about how they do the race norming on the medical exams, CTE stuff, but also when it comes to how they doing Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich, man. I went back and I looked at all the offensive coordinators for Super Bowl winning teams. They typically are going to get a head coaching job within 2 to 3 years after they win. Now, imagine you lead your team to 5 straight conference championship games, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 victories in a 5-year span, and you can't even get a look as a head coach. Now,
and what's crazy about that is Andy Reid, who's the head coach, his coaching tree is ridiculous in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, amount of head coaches or offensive coordinators, I don't know about defensive coordinators, but amount of just coaches, period, that have come from under his tutelage, his programs, is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is about Bieniemy, because I haven't looked at all the coaches. Have there been other black coaches that have been under Andy Reid that got jobs? Or has it all
No.
like,
No. But I was talking about specifically offensive coordinators.
I understand, but what I'm saying is just
Not no black coaches, but Ron Rivera. He's a quote unquote non-white coach. You know, he was
black. You
no,
know,
he's not black. He's not black.
he
Yeah.
came, he came from, he's part of the Andy Reid tree as well. See,
Yeah.
it just don't. That's two. That's two Omegas we done went to bat for. Jalen and Public Bieniemy. That's his nickname from back in the day, back when he played for Public Bieniemy. But there's got to be something going on, man. And people try to say, well, maybe he doesn't interview good. Maybe, and then, but they hire like the most average.
And again,
least accomplished people to give them a shot to be
a
football coach. There's no reason why he shouldn't have got a spot by that.
Well, and you know, it's easy to say that he doesn't interview well when it's just him, but when you got Byron Leftwich, who led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense with Tom Brady gave him a lot of credit for that. You know, that victory when he went to Tampa, and he's not getting any looks either, man. Those are the only two offensive coordinators that were black in the recent out all these Super Bowl winners. So that's the only difference. What else am I supposed to believe would be the issue? I mean,
folks making excuses, and I brought up about the interviewing just because that's an excuse that people made. I'm not trying
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, that's why they getting sued. Is oh boy, did he settle with some boy Brian Flores out of Miami?
I think he's still I think it's still in the court system.
Okay.
Yeah,
because somebody's talked about I saw him made mention that possibly Peyton was going to hire him in Denver. To, I guess, be offensive coordinator. Is he offensive?
He's defense. He's defense.
Yeah. Okay. So that just lets you know that when I say I ain't really been in the NFL, I ain't BSing, because I hear about it, but I'm out. If I'm out at a party, if I'm out with folks, I'll watch it. Hell, I was a former football player. Lab was a former football player. I like the game. I just don't like how it treats black men. So, but that's just another thing that is an issue when it comes to supporting the NFL as a black man. How do you continually overlook those things? I mean, because it's so we talked about the race norm. That's a major thing, right? We talked about the glass ceiling for black quarterbacks. How many people come in like Lamar Jackson, they say, hey man, you need to go to receiver. You need to go play this position. No, I want to play quarterback. I want to play the job. I want to play the position that gets the most paid, that I'm more than equipped to play. So we got race norming. We have the glass ceiling for black quarterbacks. We got the dearth of black coaches that are in the NFL, right? We got how they treat the players in terms of the pension and being vested. You got Jerry Jones. There's multiple things. There's multiple things that you have to look past and just be like, you know what? I'm cool with this institution and this organization and how it handles black people. What's the percentage, Lab? 60%?
Yeah, about 60.
60% of the players are black.
All right, check it out. We're going to get right back to the show. But listen, you want to support the show, donate to the show, go to our bio, hit our Cash App, $ manlistenshow.
Right, and that's the thing though. So it's probably gonna say no. I mean, it's changed so many black families' lives, you know, financially. Do you think there's not a glass ceiling in your profession? You know, do you think that they're not race norming, or your doctors aren't performing similar analysis when you go to hospitals and things like that? I don't think it's just the NFL that does that. So that's why, for me, I'm not gonna say I overlook it, but that's happening when you go, when black women, you know, die at much higher rates after giving childbirth.
Yeah.
Do we think that's because Black women are more susceptible naturally to that? No, it's because doctors and medical systems have been established, have been set up for years and years and years to discount, to disqualify the feelings of Black people. And so that,
go ahead, bro.
No, I say, and so everything that is NFL is a microcosm to me of America as a whole. There are certain unique things that you would think that in the league that's 60% Black and the majority of the coaches are former players, that you would have more than 3 or more than 2 Black head coaches. That's the one thing for me that stands out above everything else.
My only response to that would be, bro, is that a lot of us don't have options in what medical treatment, what hospitals we go to. A lot of us would like to say that there's just a wide variety of employment opportunities and stuff that you can do to provide for your family. And yes, those things are true. But when we're talking about the NFL, which at the end of the day is entertainment. Entertainment
to
is
you. It's a job to them players.
Okay, but when we're talking about, but I'm not talking about the players. There's an onus of there's a responsibility on the players' part. And actually, when we talked about boycotting and making significant changes, we've already said it. Yeah, me boycotting, not watching the NFL, yeah, that may have made a difference when all of us were doing it at one point in time, but it wasn't sustainable. What was sustainable is if those players would have said, you know what, we're not going to stand for how you treated one of our brothers, one of our union members. So let's all come together and say, listen, we're going to get this brother back into the league. They could have done that. I mean, I don't know their financial state. The union seems kind of weak, in my personal opinion. There's other unions. You never really hear much about baseball. The NBA, their union is somewhat stronger, but it's not. It's still, more lean toward. It's more player driven,
right?
NBA, but you can still tell, like at the end of the day, the owners, you saw that with the Kyrie situation.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because the players could have nipped that in the bud if they wanted to. Bringing it back to the NFL, if the players would have said, "Nah, we're not going to play," there wasn't enough scabs that they could have brought in to try to keep that game going. So it's they're in a certain position, but for us as consumers, Black people, it's entertainment. We don't have to watch the NFL.
Okay. No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What entertains you besides that? You go to music, you telling me they treat Black people fairly? You go to the movie industry, you telling me? That's what I say. It's a microcosm. Every entertainment avenue that you're going to bring up, there's across the board, Black people aren't treated fairly. Across the board.
I get you. You're right. We talk about music. Yes. And we've said it many times on the show, everything that this country has done has been built on our backs or off of our failure. Whereas, okay, in order for us to succeed, somebody got to lose. We got to take it from somebody. Take it from the Blacks.
Right.
That's how it's always been.
No.
It's always been exploited. The music industry. Hell, we like to think the NBA, just because they wore the I Can't Breathe shirts and all the other stuff, we like to think that they got more control than they did. But you see what happened with Mahmoud Raouf. You see what happened with Kyrie.
Check out that documentary on him now. Yeah, that's a good one.
See what I'm saying? So yeah, the NFL is more plantation-like, and because I think it's some quote unquote baseball used to be America's favorite pastime, but the NFL really is king. It really is, and it's such an affront. You can't name. I named with like 6 things, right? And I'm sure I forgot something that the NFL is doing that's shade towards Black people. I don't think I can get to 6 with the NBA.
We'll see. Again, you're saying you can't name 6 stains. Are all stains equal? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Those are all major things, bro. If you think
I understand, but the football, the health aspect of it, I'm not gonna say I overlook in general, because football by nature is a violent sport. It's like boxing. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get injured. You're taking life. I mean, so you sign up for that. You know going into that you're assuming a lot of the risk on the health aspect of it.
Yeah.
But it's again, I think we're arguing who's the least racist. And you know, I mean, so
they got a good massa over there.
right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to me, that's my whole thing. And I'll be honest with you, I enjoy watching. I'm not gonna that's not the one. I'm not gonna single out that if I'm still engaging and dabbling in other aspects of everyday life, entertainment in particular, that treat Black people just as unfairly.
I understand what you're saying, but you know you preach to the choir because we on the show where we call out everybody.
Yeah.
Even other Black people. But I think that it's okay for us to have our particular cause. Or
right. Mm-hmm. That's just not my. I don't begrudge anybody for not. Yeah.
So it's a fair discussion, and right, they need to be called out. Right, you know.
Yeah.
It's not far fetched. It's not unfair to call the NFL out.
No, it's not. That's why I said it's just not something I'm gonna do.
Especially
if you choose to do it,
it's in your face that this is a product, this is an institution, this is an organization that has been built off the backs of Black men.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's just really it, man. So I mean, and then we forgot about how they did that boy. I know he's not quote unquote technically a brother, but what's the cat? Is he Samoan or whatever? The cat in they played the quarterback for Miami, how they threw him back out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Tua.
Yeah, because I don't want to mess up his name.
Yeah.
You know, it's just always something.
He's adding that flavor to your function. DD's daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Flavor to your function. DD's daiquiri. Good people, good vibe, one drink at a time. Good people, good vibe, one drink. Wanna kick back, wanna just vibe. Word kick back. Let me first slide to the drink store. Let me just buy DD drink mixes, all of them fire. Fill me up a case, I'm finna drop bread. Marvelous mango, classic and red. Took them to the party, these folks won't leave me alone. They wanting me to share, they better get their own. DD's adding that flavor to your function. DD's daiquiri. Good vibe, one drink at a time. Good vibe, one drink at a time.
Before we go, man, now I need you to be unbiased.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard for you to do.
Okay, so it gotta be something. Okay.
Yeah. You already know where I'm going with it.
I already know where you're going.
You already know where I'm going with it.
The list is terrible, but yeah, no.
So what you talking about? What you talking about?
I thought you were going to ask me about that Billboard Vibe magazine greatest rappers.
No.
Okay.
That list is trash.
Yeah,
but you know where I'm going with it though. Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z signed the contract. Well, I don't know if he signed it, but he's the figurehead for Rock Nation, right?
Right.
I don't know his position with Rock Nation, but he's the forefront. He's the face of Rock Nation in his interaction with the NFL. Now, Black people, we benefited from that, right? Because you saw J-Lo, Shakira, when they had the Super Bowl in Miami, when he was down there with the Chiefs. You had probably the blackest damn halftime show when you had Dre and Aftermath and Mary J. Blige and everybody
and Eminem.
Yeah. And he's Aftermath. You say I wasn't gonna mention him though. But when you got 50 and Snoop and Mary, shout out to
Kendrick,
Queen Mary and Kendrick. That's black AF.
Yeah, it is.
Now Rihanna, and then I can't remember what the other person that was there, but we're missing one. Anyway,
Bruno Mars.
Was it Bruno? No, that was before the Rock Nation deal.
Okay, I don't know then.
I don't remember, man. But anyway, probably because they wasn't Black. That's why we don't remember.
No, it was the COVID year. That was the COVID year. So I can't remember 2020 season.
Was it 2020 season?
Yeah, because Shakira and them in Miami was the 2019 season, and Snoop was the 2021 season.
Let's look it up. The 2020 Super Bowl halftime show. So technically that was Shakira and J-Lo because it was in 2020.
Yeah, but I mean, in the
I got
I'll
you.
say 20. Yeah.
Started in 19.
Hmm.
Oh, shout out to C, The Weekend.
The Weekend. Oh
I
yeah,
forgot about The
I
Weekend.
forgot about the
Shout
Weekend
out
too.
to C. That's one of her favorite people, The Weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of people throw shots at Jay-Z because they said Jay-Z helped to somewhat effectively kill the momentum of the boycott when he signed with the Roc Nation deal with the NFL.
Hmm.
Basically, okay, bringing in these artists, which consequently started bringing more people back in to watch the show and everything. So he gets a lot of criticism for that. You had Rihanna, who just performed, right? Shout out to Rihanna. Look like she's got her second baby on the way, her and ASAP Rocky. But beforehand, Rihanna had turned down the Super Bowl because of
Right.
there's a cap.
Hmm.
Jay's involved with Roc Nation. We know her relationship with Jay. Jay helped break her. Now she's performing on the show. Do you think the criticism of Jay-Z is fair, and how and what part he played in killing the momentum of the boycott movement when it comes to Colin Kaepernick?
Nah, I can. I think it would. I think it's a stretch because I think it would be different if he was vocal about the boycott. Being like,
He did say, I think it's time for the boycott to be done or something to that effect.
no. I'm talking about being vocal, saying, "Hey, we need to boycott. We need to boycott." Because if the Weekend performing at halftime of one game get you to not to boycott the NFL, you weren't really invested in the boycott.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
But you got the Weekend, who's black. He's not ADOS, but he's black.
Mm-hmm.
You got Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, 50, Mary. They black, right?
Yeah, and right.
Eminem targets black audience.
No.
Right?
I would just give you a hard time on that.
You got Rihanna. She black. She ain't ADOS, but she black. You know what I mean? So there is some now. Now y'all know I'm a Nas fan. It's documented. I respect Jay-Z because I respect the stuff that he's done for the movement, him and his wife, Beyonce. Shout out to Beyonce. I don't know if you're getting tickets. I'm on the waiting list. I'm not part of the Beehive, but I kind of feel like I need to go just to experience it or whatever.
Hey, from what I heard, you got to go to London or Paris and get them.
I know, yeah. You got the same bougie friends I got. So,
yeah.
But I mean, you can tie those two dots together and say, okay, he did kind of, okay, black folks, we ain't gonna have U2 and the Rolling Stones and Katy Perry on here anymore. We're gonna have some people that's gonna bring y'all in. It's not a stretch to say that Jay-Z.
I think it is.
You think so?
And again, because
the same people Nas.
Again, the Super Bowl is one game a year. I mean, nowadays you don't even got to watch the NFL to go watch Super Bowl halftime. So ever since you know what I mean, you could watch it on Apple. You know, they had the big old Apple Music, then you could watch it on your phone. Yeah. If you had Apple Music, you don't have to watch the game to watch the halftime show. So that, I mean, a lot of the times what we like to do is we like to place blame, and we like to say X caused Y definitively. And there are gray areas. Again, I think that I can understand where someone would say that, but to me, it's a stretch. If you feel that way, I wouldn't, I wouldn't argue it down to death, that you're wrong. But just for me, that's just my mind says if watching Shakira and J-Lo at halftime of one game a year get you to quit boycotting the NFL, you weren't truly boycotting the NFL.
That's true. Well, man, first time just the fellas on the show. I think we did okay.
Yeah, they be coming with these quick-witted points though, man. It'd be like, whoo.
Yeah. I always said seeing Enrique make the show, but me and Lab, two monkeys don't. I ain't gonna say that. But yeah, we're gonna get them back. We're gonna get the crew back, but we just want to put this out here, talk about the NFL. C and Erika, they definitely are well equipped to talk about sports, but this so happened that was just me and Brother Lav today. So let us know what you think. Was Lav and I on point? Are you still rocking with the NFL? Are you still boycotting? If you're still boycotting, tell us why. If you're not boycotting, tell us why. Let us know. Make sure you follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. Subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get to 300 people on YouTube. I know that doesn't sound like a lot compared to these other big podcasts and shows, but they got big money, big corporations behind them. We get a solid 300 who are supporting us in everything that we do. It'll make a huge difference. So if you've been a follower of the show or listener of the show, make sure you tell your people, hey, yo, go to YouTube, follow this show. You're going to like what they do. You like the camaraderie. You like the vibe. You like the information. Please, 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 we want the help. We need the help. And on that note, I think I said enough, Lab. Peace.
Chiefs Kingdom.
Shout out to C and Erika.